MJ Doyle, welcome to my channel. This is take 9057. If I appear irritated, that'll be why. I'm also painfully hot, so I do have a fan running. My apologies if you can hear it, but it was kind of background noise of fan or no video because I can't survive without it on. Anyway, moving past my assorted complaints, it is time to do a wrap up of my goals for 2021, which I recorded in this journal. My first goal for the year was to actually use this journal, and I have. I'm kind of proud. I've never actually used a journal for the entirety of a year before, so that's a success. My other goals are written in the front. I have 3 lists. I have channel goals, writing goals, and personal goals. In the video where I originally introduced these goals, I didn't talk about my personal goals, so I shan't be talking about them here either. So, on to my writing goals for 2021. I wanted to complete my Camino story. I haven't. I'm so close, but I haven't. I also wanted to complete the draft of my fairy tale project, which is my 2020 Nanowrimo project. Nope, haven't even looked at it. I wanted to participate in poetry slams. COVID. I wanted to submit to all of the New Zealand literary journals which accept poetry. Close-ish, maybe to half. So no. Next, I wanted to participate in Camp Nanowrimo. Now, I did technically participate in both camps. The first time my goal was to work on my writing stuff, whether that was writing or editing, for 1 hour a day, and I discovered that was actually too modest of a goal because I wasn't even trying and still hitting it, but it does mean that I did it and I succeeded and it was great. The next Camp Nano, I decided to be more ambitious and I set myself a poetry related goal, and it was so hideous I completely abandoned it before the halfway mark. But nonetheless, I have ticked this as done because I did do it at least once and succeed, and the second time, well, I tried. Good enough. Next, I wanted to plan my research for Tales from the Coast, which is my family history project. Nope. Part of planning the research for this was going to be to secure my mother in a location and interrogate her slightly, because every time I try and ask her specific questions, she tends to get distracted and not answer them, or tell me to speak to so-and-so who I've never met. Sorry for calling you out, Mum, but that's totally what's happened. So my plan was to get Mum in a place and be like, answer these questions, and then based on those answers I would know where I needed to go to get what other information. However, because of numerous COVID shutdowns and also a very busy, unexpectedly busy period at work, I haven't managed to see my mother since Easter, so no progress has been made on that one. I wanted to outline Hay, which is... what is it? It was originally the second half of my Camino story, which I have broken into 2 completely separate books. It's not going to be a sequel. I will actually populate it with different characters because I realised that the second half of the story didn't actually require the first half in any way, and the first half could be a story all on its own. So this is taking everything that happened after my Camino and kind of blowing it up and making it a story on its own without the Camino part. I don't know if that made sense, but I'm moving on. I wanted to write an introduction for a certain secret project. I have written several introductions, none of which I like, so I guess I've done it but not well. I wanted to collect 25 rejections. I made a good effort, but due to disorganisation I didn't hit 25. I made 20 submissions and received 18 rejections. So close, so close. But yeah, like I said, there was an organisational issue which I'm going to try and address for next year. I wanted to plan the overarching plot for my vampire epic. I haven't finished this, but I've done as much as I can. I've realised that 2 of the stories within it have a really strong mystery plot, and I've never written a mystery. I feel really stuck on how to do it. Like, I know what the mystery is. It's not just like, oh, you know, it would be good if they had to solve a problem. But I don't know how to get there, and I know you're supposed to start at the end and kind of work backwards, but I'm still kind of stuck on how to not just have it be instantly solved, how to actually make it a big thing. I actually think I need to take a class on how to write mysteries. I've been thinking I might do masterclass next year. I'm sure there are one, if not two, mystery writers who are on that, so that's a thought. But I've done most of it, I've done what I can, and the two stories that have a mystery element are quite far down the line of stories that need to be written. In theory, I could actually start writing the series now. I've got the beginning of it sufficiently planned. I won't, but I could. Next, I wanted to take part in online writing sprints. I did do this. I was much more active with it at the beginning of the year, not at all for the latter half of the year, because my writing efforts have shifted so far into editing that taking part in sprints, I mean, it's good in that I am vaguely connecting with other people, but it just didn't work out, I guess. Like, what am I trying to say? I don't like sprints for editing, even though you can just say, look, I've been editing, because you can't go, oh look, I wrote this many words or anything, so it's, yeah. And my final writing goal for 2021 was to find new critique partners. Didn't even start looking. Moving on to my channel goals, I wanted to get a tattoo. Now this is a channel goal instead of a personal goal, because last year I was playing a game of Truth or Dare on my channel and I got the dare to get a tattoo. And I immediately emailed the person who did my first tattoo, but they didn't get back to me in time for the video to go up, and I just kind of said in the video, emails have been sent, I'll let you know. 6 months later I got a response, not from the person I actually emailed, but someone who I assume works with him. And their response was poor customer service coupled with a hilarious level of stupidity. In my original email I said that I wanted an approximately 9cm tattoo on my shoulder of a scallop shell with a hiking man symbol on it, and I included photographs of the symbols I was describing. In the email I eventually received, the person said, 9 centimeters! Exclamation mark. What is that, 3 feet? 3 feet would be 91 centimeters, and we don't use the imperial measurement system in New Zealand, so why the fuck did she translate it over? And then, apparently operating on the assumption that I did have giant troll shoulders, she suggested that a better way to fill the space would be not to have the scallop shell that I had asked for, but to have a conch shell instead. And then, because hiking and seashells had nothing to do with each other, she strongly recommended that I get a drowning man symbol instead, even though in my email I had in no way suggested that I was open to suggestions, recommendations, or redesign. And I thought, well, I mean, that's obviously just poor customer service to take months to respond and then be stupid and then try and redesign someone's tattoo when they haven't said that, you know, they have some vague ideas of what they want and are open to suggestions. But the whole hiking and seashells have nothing to do with each other, so you should get a drowning man symbol, when I had given her photographs of the hiking man symbol I wanted, in which there were also seashells in the photograph. I think. Maybe I just sent a different photo, but anyway. And I thought about sending an email just saying something like, yeah, one of the oldest hiking trails in the world is marked by seashells and has been for in excess of 1,000 years. But I eventually decided to just not respond because, I mean, why bother talking to stupid people? I did try and find another tattooist, and I believe really strongly when it comes to tattoos that you need a direct personal recommendation, no online reviews. So this meant that I spent quite a while like spying on the tattoos of the people around me, and I finally got someone, I was like, look, you have many tattoos, can you recommend someone? Because some of her tattoos were really beautiful. And she recommended a couple of places, and I picked one, and they seemed great, and then they just randomly stopped responding to my emails. So I'm like, have I offended the tattooing community somehow? I don't know what I've done. But I certainly haven't managed to get a tattoo. And then obviously COVID as well. So that is not done. My next channel goal was to film at least one adventure type video, and I did do one. I would have liked to have done more, but you know, COVID. The adventure type video that I did do was when I went snorkeling at a marine reserve, so I'll leave a link to that. I did actually go on another adventure this year, but I didn't have the right camera for it because it was a nighttime kayak at a different marine reserve where there's bioluminescence, and it was really cool, but it was really hard to get anything to show up on camera. And I say that even though I didn't try. I knew that it would be too hard because I didn't have the suitable camera for it, so I just had the experience instead of filming it. I would have liked to have obviously made more adventure type videos, or even just gone on more adventures but not videoed them, but you know, COVID and a full-time job, really bad combo. Not financially. My next channel goal was to film regular reading wrap-ups. I started doing reading wrap-ups, they were not regular. I feel like I just don't read enough, and I think I need to take a different approach to doing any kind of videos about my reading because of that. Don't know how I'm going to do that. I have thoughts, but no commitments yet. My next goal was to film a new series for my channel, which I didn't even start, and then finally I had a goal to film monthly writing updates, which I started doing, but that's kind of petered out a little bit, so never mind. So yeah, lots and lots of failure beautifully recorded in my journal. Bugger. What I have learned from this year's failures is that my attempt to be organised and set goals was done incorrectly. I think I failed so many times. I mean, partly because of external things, but also because I set too many goals, and they were big goals, like finish a book, plan a book, finish this other book. There's too many things. So for next year, what I want to do is set smaller goals, but also to break them up. So instead of just having this big giant goal of finish my Camino story, I can have smaller goals of picking a title, getting beta readers, doing a proofread, all of those kinds of things, so that I have more regular successes of ticking things off that to-do list. And the other thing I need to do is be more organised. So some of my goals I failed due to handling of the planning and organisation side of things. So my 25 rejections goal, I didn't get as many rejections as I wanted because I didn't make the submissions, because I missed submission deadlines. What I tried to do with this journal was use these monthly spreads to record where there were submission deadlines for journals. The problem is that if I had only recorded the deadline, then I could get surprised by it, even though submissions might have been open for a couple of months. And it meant that if a deadline was at the beginning of a month, I wouldn't realise it until I turned to the next month, and I would find, oh look, here's the deadline today on the 1st. So I have a new plan. I've picked up one of these wall planners for the whole year, and my plan is to write in all the deadlines so I can see this on my wall every single day, and I can see if a deadline is approaching, even if it's not until next month. I also have my new journal for the year. Cover looks plain. Perhaps you're thinking, oh, why did she get just a plain one? Because of this. Don't look at my face. Look at it. Isn't it glorious? I saw that and I was like, I don't even care what the pages are like. Sold! This journal has a slightly different page layout to my old one, and it has the where are they? It has the 1 month calendar spreads all together, and I think this is good because if I'm in one month and I want to quickly check the other month, I can literally turn a page. I don't have to flick forward 30 pages to see what's happening on the first of the next month, which is what I had to do with my old journal. So I'm hoping that new journal might make it slightly easier. I'm fairly confident that the wall planner will also be helpful. We'll see. I had originally planned to spend some time in this video actually filling in the calendar and showing you how I was going to use it, but I feel like I've been yabbering for a surprisingly long time, so that'll be it for today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!